Well, here we are again on We Don't Color on the Dog. We've got Pensacola artist phenomenon
Oh.
Tris Weeks with us. Tris, thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Rick.
You've got your second album coming out. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's very exciting. We recorded it up in Nashville with awesome producer Garrett Miller, who's worked with Kelly Clarkson and Mumford and Sons. And it's our second EP we're putting out. It's called Broken Masterpiece. I think this one's a little more rock and roll, which is exciting for me because that's my favorite genre. And we've, been doing classic rock covers around the Gulf Coast for years. And so to kind of be creating music that I think replicates that in a way that's new and exciting is very fun.
Now, your mom in her email to me, your moms are great, Tris. They always,
They are.
your parents are great. But your mom shared that there's an Irish influence in the songs that you've written for this.
There is for sure. One of the songs is called Anya. It's inspired by an Irish goddess that I learned about when I was doing a study abroad program for music in Ireland last summer. The culture and the mythology was just so inspiring to me that I took this guitar and I sat down and this song really just spilled out of me. And so in addition to the rock songs, I think it's a really good mix on this record because we go from Irish kind of folk music to rock and roll. And so I think it's a lot of
When
fun
you
to play
look
with
at
different things.
Yeah, if you look at this, when you write, do you hear the whole package or do you start with the music in your head or the lyrics in your head?
Yeah, that's such a hard question because every time it's totally different. Like for the Irish inspired song, I feel like I kind of heard the whole package in my head. It started with just a melodic line and then the lyrics came shortly after that. But another song on the album called Move Along is one of the more rock and roll songs. And for that one, I didn't hear the whole package. I thought we might turn it into kind of a country song, and then I sat down and things sound very different when it's just me and my acoustic guitar before I bring it to the band. And then the band kind of has a big influence on shaping what the final sound is. And I'm so lucky to have such a great collection of musicians that when we all put our heads together, I think some really special stuff can come out.
Now you've got me curious because I have no musical ability at all. I can put some words together. Tell me about that, the brainstorming with the band. How does that kind of play out? Maybe just take one song that you kind of use as the case study for it.
Sure. Well, I'll go back to Move Along since I think that one kind of came together in a way that most of our songs typically do. I sit and write the songs by myself at home and it's just me and my acoustic guitar and then I take it to a rehearsal and I play it for the guys and say, "Okay, sometimes I'll have a specific vision and say I want it to sound like this, but sometimes I'll just say, here's the song. What do y'all think? Where should this go? What should we do with it?" And for Move Along, I played it, and in my head, I was thinking, okay, well, I'm going to see what they think, but I really think it should be kind of a country song. And then our drummer was like, I hear this rock and roll guitar riff going like this. And he sits down and he picks up a guitar and he plays this riff. And then all the guys join in and we start hashing it out and try different. There's a lot of trial and error
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
So we kind of go for that one. We went off of that riff and tried different drum things that worked with it and different bass parts and kind of just play and experiment and have fun until we get somewhere that we like.
That's exciting. Now, when we talked last time, your other album was coming out, and for our for our viewers, listen. If you like this show, please like it, subscribe to it. We don't color on the dog. If you've got any comments, if you'd like to ask Tris a question, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'll link up with Tris, and we'll do our best to try to answer any questions you have. You went to Nashville. Tell me how that experience.
Yeah, that was awesome. I think, there's so much great music happening in Nashville and
Everywhere. It's everywhere in Nashville. I mean,
yeah, you can't walk. Yes, exactly, exactly. So, it feels like you're doing the real deal when you go up to Nashville and you get to record an album. And we certainly were. The producer we got to work with is just so spectacular, and he's so involved in the music business and industry there. And so, being a band from Pensacola and having an opportunity to do something like that and work with people who are in the music industry and are working with these really big artists, I think really just helps us take the music to a whole different level.
Well,
So,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I can see, just because you learn from talent, you can learn from others, and that's invaluable.
absolutely. Yes.
Okay, I think we got a little bit of delay. Hopefully, it'll all play out in this. I talk over you. I apologize. The other thing that right now you've got bands on the beach on the 24th.
Yes.
So you'll be playing for a hometown crowd.
We're so excited. I mean, growing up in Pensacola, Bands on the Beach is such an iconic event, and we're so honored and excited to be part of it this year.
Well, and the thing about Goldmine, and this is Tris Weeks, is you've always had a philanthropic element to your music. You've been very much in fighting the cancer research. Tell our viewers a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've been raising money for the Tyler Robinson Foundation for the past 10 years through music related events, putting on benefit concerts, and um, started out busking, and then, went on to do a benefit concert with the university that raised over $20,000 for families dealing with the unseen financial costs of pediatric cancer. So it's so individual to what each family needs. And with such a heartbreaking diagnosis, the last thing we want is for families to be worried about travel expenses, trying to get their child to life saving treatment. And so it's been the entire time I've done music, I think it's such an awesome medium to be able to connect with people. And I really believe that if we have an opportunity to use what we're doing to be a force for the greater good, I think we absolutely should. And so our EP release show coming up this July 24th is going to be at Seville Quarter at Phineas Fogg's, and it will be a fundraiser for the Tyler Robinson Foundation to help those pediatric cancer families. So it's very, very close to my heart, and just am so lucky that I get to do what I love and hopefully make a positive impact while doing it.
Well, and that concert's a family-friendly event, so it's a pretty a perfect venue for that. Plenty of room for people to bring their family to it. What time is that on the 20th?
Absolutely. It's going to be at 6 p.m.
Okay. Now you've just gotten back from New Orleans. I know you played A quite a bit.
Mhm.
What's your top three venues that you've played at, and outside of Pensacola? Because I don't want you to
Okay.
feel like you're obligated to say the people that have supported here. But outside of
Okay.
here, what have been some of the funner venues to be in?
Wow, that's a great question. I think I played Rockwood Music Hall in downtown New York City one time. That was definitely a very cool venue, had an awesome vibe. Lady Gaga played there a lot. Performing in a pub in Ireland last summer, I think was definitely in the top. Such a cool atmosphere. I was in Limerick, in the city of Limerick, and just so much incredible music there. My third top one would definitely, actually, unbiasedly, be the Sanger Theater in downtown Pensacola. My mom has been the president of the Friends of the Sanger over the years and done a lot of fundraising for that. And so I kind of grew up in that theater. So then getting to play on that stage as a performer, singing my
You know,
original songs,
yeah.
felt like a cool moment.
Tell us what's your website. Give us all your specifics on that.
Yes. Website is trismusic, TRISmusic.com, and goldmineband.com. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook at trismusic. And then the band is Goldmine Band on all of those platforms as well. And then on Spotify, you can find our debut EP, City of Tomorrow. It's by Tris and the Goldmine Band. Wherever you get your music, it's on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Amazon, all the good stuff.
Tris, thank you so much for doing this. And for listeners and viewers, please like and subscribe. That helps us get our message out more. And we'd love any comments. Add them to this. Tris, I'll see you soon. Take care.
Sounds great. Thank you, Rick, so much.
About that man, and to see when just a